Hello, everyone. Welcome to Curiosity, the science show. This is for the month of September 2025, the episode number 71. I'm talking to you from Australia's capital, Canberra. And right in the center of the city, I'm talking to you in front of this very famous building. This building is called Shine Dome. Okay, this dome shaped building, right? The Shine Dome is the headquarters of Australian Academy of Sciences, right? Embassy of Mars, that is what the locals call this building, right? And I came here for advisory council meeting of International Science Council. So thanks a lot ISC for inviting and being my great host, right? So thanks a lot. Now, yeah, the Australian Academy of Sciences is hosting a flagship event. This is called Science at Shine Dome. This is, I think, this is probably the biggest science-related festival in Australia in the whole year, right? This is where the new fellows of Australian Academy of Sciences are being inducted. So stay tuned for further, developments from this side. Okay, so stay tuned for a few more videos from Canberra, especially like Science of Australia and all, and a few hiking videos too. Right, I'll be here for 4 days, and then expect a few more videos from Sydney. The postcard city of Australia. Yeah. So without further ado, let's jump into the September episode of the Curiosity. First, from etymology. Right, where does this word September comes from? Septem, right? It's like September, October, November, and December. All the 4 months share similar kind of style, isn't it? So September is actually coming from, you guessed it, right? Sanskrit, Sapta, right? Number 7. So this used to be the 7th month when the whole month used to be just 10 months old, during the BC times, right? The Roman times, the month length used to be just 10 months, right? So that's why this is called September. And this is equinox month, so September equinox is in this month, so this is the first sunshine in the South Pole, isn't it? The Antarctic South Pole, yeah. And also here in Australia, it's end of winter right now. This morning was like -1 degrees, and the daily max used to be like 15, right? Yeah, so it's going to be spring after this September equinox, right? And as for florography, the secret language of flowers, this is a month of forget-me-not, that is myosotis, and also aster and morning glory, the pomia. You see, this is the month of all these flowers. Well, coming to the new papers, came up in the last 2-3 weeks. The first paper is about the poverty, the children raised in poverty. I really like this paper. Well, this paper got published in Journal of Personality. It's an eye-opener. So the children raised in poverty are less likely to believe in just world hypothesis. So you might wonder, what is this just world? So just world is basically a belief that the world is just, So it's basically a cognitive bias. So psychological tendency to think that the people generally get what they deserve for, So like poor people are poor because they deserve the poverty, So yeah, it's good that if you're raised in poverty, the abject poverty, you won't believe, you won't fall for that fallacy, So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty similar to our concept of karma, isn't it? Superficially, these two are pretty similar, isn't it? But the karma is a little bit different, though. Yeah. Now, the next story is about the researchers. They interviewed 45 very famous doctors in the EU, right? The European Union, and also the US, like top doctors. And these doctors were ending their life. And what did they choose for? That is what this paper is all about. I really like this paper, which got published in Palliative Care and Social Practice, one of the top journals in this field. And they looked at their choices at the end of life. And pretty interestingly, all the 45 of the flagship doctors, they choose to be at home, with loved ones nearby, not in the palliative care. That's pretty interesting. Just that their symptoms be controlled, like pain, right? The pain be controlled. So that is pretty interesting. While the commoners like you and me, the end of life, we usually go for a palliative care or the hospitals, with complete life support and such a huge expense, isn't it? The ventilator is very expensive. So the doctors which are prescribing these, the treatments, they choose to be at home. That's very interesting, isn't it? So yeah, no life prolonging measures these doctors choose. Yeah, that is really interesting. I really like this paper. The third paper I really enjoy reading is about brown seaweed. So they isolated a compound from brown seaweed which has got anti-obesity potential, not from the compound as such. This compound is eliciting anti-obesity response by inducing or changing the microbiota flora. So basically gut microbiota, isn't it? So in our gut, there are a lot of microbes living. So this molecule is preferentially supporting certain microbes, and these microbes are linked with anti-obesity potential. And this brown seaweeds, in Japanese food, isn't it? Like miso shiro in the breakfast, right? The Japanese love to drink miso shiro is a soup. So basically in the miso shiro, you will see two types of seaweeds. The first one is kelp. It's a Saccharina japonica. This is a brown seaweed, and also Undaria pinnatifida. Right, so Undaria is also it's a brown seaweed, isn't it? So wakame, the Japanese name. So these seaweeds do have this molecule, and that molecule doesn't actually directly induce the anti-obesity potential, but through changing our gut microbiome. That's pretty interesting paper, which got published in Carbohydrate Polymers. Fourth paper is about drinking enough water, hydration, right? So they were looking at those people who drink enough water and those who do not drink enough water, and what is the differences in serotonin levels. Serotonin is a stress hormone, and they found that statistically substantial difference in serotonin levels. With those who are not drinking enough water, the stress hormones were much higher. Very interesting. It got published in a good journal. It's called Journal of Applied Physiology. Stay tuned and please check out the show notes for all the links to the direct papers. Okay, please check out the show notes. Now, fifth story is that across 24 developed democracy, these researchers were looking for economic crisis. So whenever there is an economic crisis, right? For example, unemployment or inflation or decrease in the value of the local currency. So all those economic crises, what happens to the people's political choice? They found that they favor far right groups. So far right is being favored whenever there is an economic crisis. And well, the study was conducted only in the 24 developing countries. The developed countries, but it could be same in developing countries too. That's pretty interesting. And whenever there is a crisis, they vote for far right and nationalist parties. Probably this is the same case in the opposite also, right? If the country is getting more and more money, getting richer and affluent, prosperous, they vote for left. Like here in Australia. Australia is now ruled by leftist government. It's a Labour Party. It's very prosperous country, the Australia, right? Next story is about aging. Yeah, as we know all, smoking and drinking alcohol contribute substantially to the aging. Now there is another factor too: heat waves. If you're exposed to heat waves like extreme heat, it age as much as smoking or drinking. This is a paper published in Nature. Check out the show note for the links to all these papers. Okay. Next story is about cancer with the diet. Yeah. So vegetarian, if you're a vegetarian, if you eat only vegetables and vegetarian diet, you have 12% lower cancer risk. And if you're a vegan is a more extreme vegetarian, right? There is no dairy products too, right? So if you're a vegan, you will have 24% lower cancer risk than meat eaters. That's amazing story, right? Well, this study was conducted in a developed country, not in a developing country. It might be similar or not. There might be lots of confounding factors because, vegan, for example, usually vegans are pretty rich. They can afford good medical treatment. So vegans with 24% lower cancer, a little bit skeptical. There might be confounding, illusory correlation, but again, this is an eye-opener study, got published in a very good journal, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Okay, yeah. Eighth story is that the bright children from low-income group, they lose that cognitive edge in early childhood. The reason is that they're not getting guidance, proper guidance. No support. Well, if you're not getting guidance or support, then, well, definitely you will end up as a failure, isn't it? There is no major success. So they lose that edge in the primary school. That's so unfortunate, isn't it? That's why proper mentoring is really important. And one of the flagship program of the International Science Council of Asia Pacific region is the mentoring program. And Asia Pacific mentoring is being inaugurated tomorrow, in this building by Australian Academy of Sciences and ISC. So yeah, that's, we really need this kind of mentoring programs of targeting to poor kids who really need the guidance in their life. So this paper got published in Research in Social Stratification and Mobility. Very good journal too. Ninth story is that the willingness of those in power to act fairly depends on how easily others can collectively push back against unfair treatment. So if the people really question and push back, if the employers' place have got strong unions, or associations, then the boss will not do the unfair practice. But lacking this union or association, the employee labor unions and all, then the boss tend to be more biased or prejudiced. That is pretty interesting, right? Yeah, this paper is published in a journal called Social Psychological Bulletin. Well, there is a very famous saying that the checks and balances you give them, you get despotism, right? Checks and balances are really important. Too much power corrupts. That's why in our country, in India, we have got three pillars, rather four pillars of democracy, isn't it? We have parliamentary system, the legislators, the elected legislators, we have president, right? And also we have Supreme Court and also media, right? All these pillars, none of these pillars are overpowered, right? So yeah, it's the power is kind of balanced. That is why India is a functional democracy. So the balance in power is really important. Yeah, that's what this paper also argues. Finally, the 10th story of September 2025 is a punk rock dinosaur discovery. So a new fossil of this very bizarre looking dinosaur got discovered. And this punk rock is basically a kind of a genre of the rock music, where usually people who are actually singing this rock music, as well as those who go for the concerts, they wear very bizarre looking, like spiky attire, right? So this dinosaur also have lots of spikes, a meter long spikes throughout its body. Can you believe it? So this fossil, dinosaur's fossil, which got discovered, is named Spicomelus afer. Spicomelus afer lived 165 million years back. It was discovered in Morocco. Morocco is a Mediterranean country in Africa. I haven't been to Morocco, but I saw Morocco from the coast of Spain. You can actually see Morocco, the other side of Gibraltar Strait. It's just 14.5 kilometers. On a clear day, you can easily see the Morocco from Spain. You can even swim across it. It's not that really long or something, but there is no bridge. I wonder why there is no bridge. Isn't it? Yeah, you should actually build a bridge across this Strait of Gibraltar. Right? And now let's come to the next, next part of the curiosity, the observances of September. Today, the 1st of September is Origin meteor showers. So it's an annual event, the Origin, right? And September, you can see a few more meteor showers. Stay tuned. 7th is the corn moon. The full moon of September is called corn moon, as per Indian almanac, the Red Indian almanac, right? And also on the same day, 7th, you can see total lunar eclipse, which is visible here in Australia as well as in India, right? Complete. Well, the total lunar eclipse always happens on full moon. Do you know why? Look it up. And also the 7th of September is Clean Air and Blue Skies Day. 8th is Literacy Day. 9th is a conjunction Moon and Saturn. And also another meteor shower, Epsilon Perseid meteor shower. 16th is Moon-Jupiter conjunction, also Ozone Day. 21st is Saturn at opposition. Saturn opposition means directly opposite the Earth in its orbit around Sun. And opposition is the best time to view that planet. So in 2025, 21st of September is the best day to watch the rings of Saturn. If you're avid, astronomer or a sky watcher, please check out grab a nice the telescope. Usually an uber powerful binocular is not sufficient to see the rings of Saturn. You need to have a telescope. Okay. And also peace day is on 21st. 22nd is September equinox. Looking forward to it. September equinox is equal day and night, or rather the sun is crossing from the north. It's going towards south. Australia is now getting warmer and warmer, isn't it? The summer is approaching. While for us in India and rest of the northern hemisphere, it's going to the winter is approaching for us, isn't it? And also on 22nd of September is partial solar eclipse, not the total, but it's partial. Yeah. 26th is total elimination of nuclear weapons day, and 27th is sextanid meteor shower. It's a daytime meteor shower, not in the night. Yeah, sextanid meteor shower. So September, you will see it's 3 meteor showers. Yeah, it's a meteor shower month. Final stage of curiosity is the opportunities for young researchers and students. Right. Well, Ministry of Education's Government of India's scholarship calls are open. Many calls like UK Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme, right? If you're an MSc student, you can apply, or MS student, right? And also Duo Simia Italy, that call is also open. Thailand, and also Bangladesh. Several such schemes are open. You have to apply. You have to check out Ministry of Education, Government of India. And check out the show notes for the links. Yet another opportunity is calls for new members for GYA, that is Global Young Academy, right? If you're a young researcher, you can apply for it. Yeah. See the bird call? Yeah, that's, well, it's, it's, I don't know which bird is that. It's beautiful white bird, it's really nice. Yeah. Next call is for Tivas Essenbos postgraduate fellowship program. The calls are open. This is for the young scientists from developing countries who wish to do the research towards the PhD in physical sciences. So if if you're from physics or physical sciences, do apply. 22nd September is the deadline. HFSP call is open. That is Human Frontiers Science, right? So that is if you are into the medical sciences, into Human Frontiers, then you can apply. It's a very prestigious grant. 23rd September is the deadline. Call for nominations for 2025 WFEO GREE Women in Engineering Award is open. This is to recognize outstanding women engineers who have made significant contribution to the engineering. Right, women engineer. If you're a women engineer, do apply. 15th September is the deadline. Call to participate in the International Writing Workshop to support early career researchers is open now. To publish in high-impact journals in the fields of humanities and social sciences. Okay, so if you are a student of the humanities and social sciences, please do apply. 17th September is the deadline. PhD scholarship by governments of Uzbekistan and Slovenia is also open. Check out the show notes for links to all these stories. So that's it for the month of September, the 71st episode. And thank you so much. And please stay tuned for a lot more videos about Australian sciences and other curious facts of Australia, okay, from Canberra and Sydney. Take care of yourself and someone else too. Goodbye.